Hey everyone, it's Gladius. So Artisan Mettle, what is it? Every player needs it, not just crafters. In this guide, you're going to know all the sources for Artisan Mettle. You're going to know what you need to prioritize each week to make sure you don't miss out on Artisan Mettle. Most importantly, you're going to know what it's used for. Now, again, before we get into it, I try to get this stuff out as fast as possible. If you want to stay up to date on WoW content, please slam the subscribe button. And if at the end of the video you decide that this was helpful and useful to you in some way, please heroic strike that like button as well. All right, well, let's get into it. I think the most important part to understanding Artisan Mettle is to understand the relationship between Artisan Mettle and knowledge points. Whenever you get a knowledge point in Dragonflight, you're almost always also going to get some Artisan Mettle as well. Usually the relationship is a 1 to 5. So usually when you get 1 knowledge point, you're also going to get 5 Artisan Mettle. That's not always the case, but it's a good rule of thumb to go by. However, that's only one piece of it. Now we have to understand all the different places that we can actually get Artisan Mettle. Artisan Mettle sources can be sorted into 2 categories: one-time finds and random repeatable finds. The one-time finds group includes treasures found around the map, rare drops, and trainers that you're going to find scattered throughout the Dragon Isles. For the first one, treasures. For this one, I highly suggest picking up an add-on. The add-on I use is called Handy Notes. I'm going to put a link to that in the description if you want to download it. This is going to put on your map, you can see there's going to be treasure chests and all the locations of where you can actually get some treasure. Not all of these are going to have your knowledge points, but a great deal of them do. Another add-on I highly suggest is TomTom. If you decide to pick up TomTom or you already have TomTom, I'm going to link in the description the waypoints for each of the treasures organized by the professions that they're associated with. Finding rares and their loot, I highly suggest RareScanner. That's another great add-on for finding rares and seeing their loot tables. Not only can you see where the rares are located, but you can also see the loot that they drop. Also, that one is linked in the description. Also linked in the description are all of the profession training masters and their waypoints, linked in the description for you to find. That covers our one-time finds. After you go out and find all of the treasures, all of the masters. Oh, and of course, there's one more that I forgot to mention. This one is the first-time crafting bonus. Each time you craft an item for the first time, you're going to get a knowledge point. You get Artisan Mettle as well. All right, let's move on to the second category. This includes not only repeatable sources, but also random sources as well. Some of these depend on the profession that you have, but first I'm going to go over the ones that are going to affect everyone. First, this is something very important. There's a quest that begins in the Ruby life pools. You may have run into this when you were leveling. It's a quest line that's called Gift for Miguel. If you haven't done this already, I highly suggest going over and completing this quest. This quest line is going to open up the ability for you to get something called Dragon Shard of Knowledge. These Dragon Shards of Knowledge can come from many different sources. It is a random drop that can come in many different places. You could get it dropped from a monster. You could get it dropped from a boss after completing a weekly, even when you're out there gathering. These are extremely important. The reason why this is so important is because there is a repeatable quest where you can turn these in to get knowledge points over and over again for the profession of your choice. These Dragon Shards of Knowledge can be turned into Khadin as a repeatable quest. The waypoint is linked in the description. Now, let's return back to that NPC we were talking about, Thomas Bright. After you complete the quest over in the Ruby life pools, you're going to find Thomas Bright sitting on a bench in the Artisan's market. On a weekly basis, you're going to be able to return to Thomas Bright and turn in a quest called Show Your Mettle. This can be completed on a weekly basis. It's going to be a consistent, easy income for getting your mettle. Don't miss this one. It's really easy. Next, something that's going to affect everyone the same way is that each of your profession trainers are going to have a weekly quest for you to complete. This weekly quest is going to give you some profession knowledge as well as some Artisan Mettle. Finally, once these have been earned from renown bonuses, inscriptionists are able to make treaties. These treaties can be consumed to give you knowledge points on a weekly basis. There is a week-long cooldown on this. If you have the gold to do it, you might as well go ahead and buy one. I believe you can also use the crafting order station as well. Speaking of crafting order station, there's also an NPC Asley that gives you a weekly quest where you have to complete 5 crafting orders each week. A lot of players have run into a problem where there's not enough crafting orders to complete. Well, no worries. My guide up here is not only going to go over how to use a crafting order station, but also how you can complete that quest even if nobody's posting crafting orders. Also, check the calendar. If the Dark Moon Fair happens to be in town, go ahead and head on over there and complete their profession quests. They're going to have one for each one of your professions, and it's going to give you a boost of 2 points on your profession. If you're sitting above 50, you know how big a deal that is. Also in the process, they're going to give you some artisan metal and also some knowledge points. All right, while we're standing over here, let's take a look at this. As you're progressing your reputation with the Artisan Consortium, you're going to be able to buy notes for each of your professions. They're going to give you 10 knowledge points per unlock. But notice after you've used it, you're not able to buy it again. So you're going to have to go ahead and level up your reputation to be able to continue to get these. Now we're going to go into another category. There's also some specifics to the type of profession you have. If you're a crafter or if you're a gatherer. Gatherers are going to be able to find random, epic, and rare quality items that can be consumed to increase your profession knowledge. Of course, that gives you artisan metal as well. These do have a weekly cap on them. You can find these 6 times each. So down here, you can see iridescent ore. For example, you can find this a total of 6 times during the week. The rare counterpart does not have a cap to it as far as I understand. Now, crafters, it's going to work similar for you. So crafters are going to be able to randomly receive knowledge points after crafting. You find 1 knowledge point. This happens totally randomly, and there isn't a cap on it from what I understand. All right, I hope that breaks down some of the mystery when it comes to the artisan metal. If you decided this video was useful to you, go ahead and heroic strike that like button and go ahead and slam the subscribe for more WoW content in the future. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Still a little confused about crafting orders? No sweat. Take a look at this video here.